Hey guys, Rascal here, and today I am reviewing the Disney Plus series Hawkeye with guest star Mama Entertainment.
Hi guys.
Now this show we saw, of course, in December, just about everybody else, but unfortunately it took us a longer than usual to finish it, so we did not end up finishing it before the end of December. However, we did finish it, and we really enjoyed it. So today we're going to talk about that. Out of season,
Yes.
but hey, it's a superhero show. You can watch it whenever, even if it is Christmas.
It's still available on Disney Plus all the time, so yeah.
Yes.
But before we start, be sure to like and subscribe for more of Rascal's Reviews.
Yes. So, yes, this was a really fun show because a lot of the MCU series so far have been sort of hit or miss with a lot of people. Some love it, some don't, some are sort of in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
But for Hawkeye, went a totally different direction. And I think a lot of people at Disney were surprised that there wasn't a whole lot of talk about it because mostly were certain things in the shows that got attention. Mm-hmm. Like Loki having his own show was the big hook in it. WandaVision was its theme of going through different eras of television. Mm-hmm. Falcon and Soldier was Falcon becoming Captain America temporarily. Mm-hmm. So this one, the hook was, okay, it's a Hawkeye series. He's never had anything to himself before. Mm-hmm. And they were surprised there was no issue with it. As we've seen online, usually something wrong with everything. But this time, there was none. And they were kind of just shocked about that.
Yeah. I know that Rascal kept saying, I want to see it, I want to see it, I want to see it. Finally, we got to watch it.
Yes.
And prior to this, I was not a Hawkeye fan. I didn't dislike him, don't misunderstand me. But it just wasn't a Hawkeye fan. But once we saw the first episode, it was like, this is really good. This is not what I expected to be. We really enjoyed it, and we were determined to watch the entire series.
Yes. And another thing they also took a cue from is that it's sort of like Die Hard, where mm-hmm. it's a holiday series, but it's not centered completely around the day itself or Santa Claus or any of that. It's just, okay, gotta save New York before Christmas. That's pretty much the idea
Hawkeye's
of the story.
Gonna make it home for Christmas.
Yes. And it's really fun because until like the recent movies, Hawkeye didn't have a lot of characterization, mm-hmm. and that kind of left the door open for a lot of parodies and jokes about the character, where, oh, he's the archer, you got a bunch of super-powered people, and you got an assassin, but then you get an archer, and it's like, what the heck, this doesn't fit.
Which is what I kept calling him.
Yeah, and then
for years I kept saying Archer.
Yes, and then in the show itself, someone on the show actually ended up calling him Archer, and it was like, that's not his name. And it finally made it to the actual canonical in the MCU. Your nickname for him became canon.
Yes. And I think it's good as you do because he didn't have a personality. There was nothing to him in any of the MCU movies. It was just a guy that was there, and then sometimes he'd give support like an MHA.
Right.
And that's what they made him about. But I like that this series lets you know, hey, Hawkeye's a real person. He has a real life. He has a real family. He's gone through crap. He's trying to get through the loss of his best friend. He's accrued damage that's non-reversible.
Yeah.
He's a dad who loves his kids.
Mm-hmm.
He'll treat anyone who's 21, 18, or 9 like his own kid. And he's just a likable character here. And I'm like, why didn't they do this from the beginning, make you like him? And it's what they did. Whoever wrote this just presented him in a way that this is a guy you can not only like, but be behind and stand behind and hope he wins and mm-hmm. really cheer him mm-hmm. on. Why couldn't you do this from the beginning?
Right.
With the first Avengers movie.
And there was actually ended up being a joke online that kind of caught on, was that for the ones who've seen Infinity War know what happened at the end, half of them being wiped out. Mm-hmm. And they asked, well, how could this possibly happen? And some people blame Star-Lord, some people blame other people. But in here, someone said, look, I know what's wrong. You have a certain pattern. You realize you had Hawkeye in the first Avengers movie, Age of Ultron, not Infinity War, but an Endgame. And the minute you took Hawkeye out, you lost. And when you brought him back in Endgame, y'all won. So he's the key to victory. So that ended up being sort of the joke. And now with this Hawkeye series, now he's actually getting more recognition recognition, and people really loved it. And it was perfect watching for the holidays because they had this sort of theme in there where they would play a different Christmas song towards the end of each episode, which was pretty brilliant.
Yes. And if there's a season 2, and I really hope there is, please don't destroy it. Please don't ruin the feel and the vibe and just how this show hits. Don't mess it up, Disney. This is a win. Don't try to change it into something else.
Right.
Because then you're going to lose all of us who've just loved this character and this show.
Yeah.
And Kate Bishop.
Yes.
Didn't think I was going to really like her.
Yes.
But immediately you like her from the very first episode.
Right. And with that, good thing you mentioned that, because there's been this sort of pattern with some of the MCU shows and things where female protagonist kind of starts taking more of the forefront from the male protagonist when it's the male protagonist movie or their co-protagonist. And it seems to be sort of a habit where the female one sort of takes over, and then you're kind of like, well, I thought it was his or both of yours. You seem to be taking more priority over the female one. But this time it looks like it starts off like that, but they really want you to get the whole backstory, a grasp of who she is, you know, she's not perfect and everything. And then it gets to Hawkeye, and they really do share the screen. You got him dealing with trying to figure out how to fix this before Christmas and want to get back with his family. And you got Kate trying to figure out who's the one that's trying to run the city, and it's like a crime syndicate. So they do get an actual equal amount of time, and you do like the relationship they have.
Yes, they have chemistry. These two really have chemistry, like a dad and a daughter chemistry, and it just jumps off the screen.
Yes.
And it seems, as you said, so genuine. It doesn't seem like they're acting, so maybe they get along off camera too.
Yes. And another thing is that one part of her backstory is that she was around during the first Avengers movie when they had the alien attack, and her home was utterly destroyed and lost his father. But the only reason why she ended up not getting taken out was that Hawkeye, he didn't know that Hawkeye had saved her from a bunch of aliens just using the bow and arrow. And they do the old trope where kids see their first superhero, and that becomes their hero for the rest of their life. So they kind of use that. And then through the intro, without having to use more footage, they show that she has really taken that to heart. She's learned archery and combat skills and everything, but she's still not perfect because she ends up destroying a whole church tower. Right. So
and buys the wrong suit in an auction.
Right. So she's not perfect, but Hawkeye really has made impact on her. And what I like about that is, well, besides they said, "Oh my gosh, it's Hawkeye! You're my favorite Avenger!"
Moments.
Yes. What I really like is that they don't try to force the viewer to like Hawkeye. They know his reputation and they're fine with it, but they actually try a genuine way to make you like the character for what he is. You're seeing him through and through. And it's like, okay, if you don't like him still, that's okay. And if you do like him, great. They're just presenting you this full version of Hawkeye that you didn't get to see in the previous movies.
And I hope they keep giving us more of this series. I hope it wasn't a one-shot deal. I hope they give us more seasons, and again, stick to the formula that's worked for the first season. Don't change it. Don't improve it. Don't make it better. Don't update it. Just give us more of what we really liked, and especially like the ending. If you haven't seen it, sorry. It's such a wonderful ending.
Yes.
It was a nice holiday ending. It was a nice family ending. It was a nice wholesome ending.
Yes.
And I loved it. And I loved how his family accepted her immediately when she came. It was just really, really nice. I know that's like, it sounds like a plain way to describe it, but you don't get to call a lot of things just nice anymore. And it's just a really nice series.
Yes, and that's the perfect way to describe it. Now, they do have their moments in episodes where it does get a little heavy, where they do have its action, they do have close calls, but the good news is that we can tell you safely that none of the heroes get taken out. Within it, they do not pull that card. And they don't try to play to a certain genre or trope or anything other than the having your first hero be your icon for the rest of your life. They really don't play into that. And
it stays clean.
Right.
There's no sex. There's no sex jokes. No innuendo. It was really unbelievable watching it that this is how it was. So except for, as you mentioned, a few scenes where you've got some action with some shooting and so forth, yeah, it's safe for the kids to watch too.
Right. And they got a dog named Pizza, so how can you not like that?
Cute.
And he really, all he did was eat pizza. It's like, oh gosh, this dog will literally not eat anything else now because you fed him nothing but that.
Right.
So, if you haven't seen Hawkeye, definitely watch on Disney Plus at any time. You can watch it any time of the year, or save it up for December and watch it with your family, right? Or save it up for December and watch it with your family for the holidays.
Watch it again.
And if you have seen it, let us know what you think of it in the comments. Did you love it? Did you say meh? Were there certain parts you liked, or the actors that portray the characters? Just tell us anything
was
and
it
everything.
too wholesome for you?
Yeah, because we have heard those comments, which is okay too.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you, Mom, for joining me on this podcast. This might be out of season.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Oh, and be sure to subscribe to SoulFab too for her videos, reviews, and health hacks, and so much more.
Thank you so much.
Yes. So I'm Rascal Entertainment.
And I'm Julie, Mom Entertainments.
Yes. Have an awesome day.
Peace.